Hello and welcome to the Virtual Racing League. Live tonight from Chicago for race number 10 of the season. CHICAGOLAND Speedway, 130 laps here tonight, 195 miles. As we take a look at last week's winner, Adam Cabot, who earned his first career Virtual Racing League victory. And looking for another one here potentially tonight. Right now, fastest driver in the practice session is Angelo Ronis, the number 29 Adidas machine. Dylan Parker, Safe Fair is the top three. Greg Welland, Zach Halpern also up in the top five in terms of lap time here in the practice session. Looking forward to a great race with some 2, 3, 4 wide racing action around this racetrack, which they've taken off of the real NASCAR schedule, but one of the most fun tracks to race at here in iRacing. We want to welcome you to V-Speed, where we showcase each and every one of these Virtual Racing League events. Looking forward to another fantastic one here tonight, and hope you enjoy the show. Stage break in tonight's race will be lap 35, so the driver's going to have to learn to conserve those tires for a good portion of this race, and then they'll have a nice long run, hopefully to the end. These guys have been keeping it green each and every race. We'll see if they can do it again here tonight. Let's take a look at the points going into tonight's event. See where everybody stacks up entering Chicagoland. AJ Stravato with his 2 wins this season. Also runner-up last week at Darlington. Going to come in your points leader, and he is expanding his points lead now up 66 points over Jeff Wright. Connor Horn right there with his 3 wins in third. Back just 1 point behind Jeff. And we'll see if he is able to close in on those top 2 anymore. Dylan Parker, 4th. Alec Martinez with his victory in race 1 in the 5th position. Adam Cabot, last week's winner, moves up a couple spots to 6th. Angelo Ronis, Safe Fares. Jeremiah Vincent, Keith Mayato, Garrett Kite, and Eric Hutton in the top 12 for the moment. Yusuf Ghali on the outside looking in with Mark Emerson, Eddie Trejo, Greg Welland, Jeremy Miller, Joe Stafford, Elliott Butler, and Jordan Ashland, the top 20 in tonight's race, or in tonight's standings, headed into tonight's race. So we'll see where these guys end up after the race is through, but drivers out on track getting ready to get their qualifying laps in. As we take a look at Safe Fares, that number 44 car has had a couple of breakout performances here in the Virtual Racing League over the last couple of weeks. And looking for another great one here tonight. I want to thank some of our great sponsors here on V-Speed. Drops, Below the Double Yellow Podcast, and Below the Double Yellow Racing League. A few others as well. Reg22, thank you for the subscription. And let's go. Excited for tonight's race. Should be a good one. And Reggie, I keep forgetting how Garrett told me to say it. So you could spell it out for me there in chat. Maybe I'll be able to get it right throughout the race tonight. Safe Fair is right now fastest on the qualifying time. Yusuf Ghali second. And Yusuf not had the start to the year that he has needed. Got in trouble last week after a good qualifying effort. But got involved in something early on at Darlington, which cost him a good finish. Right now, puts down his second lap time of 30.101. That'll be good for second behind Safe in that 44. Zach Halpern on the track now. Jordan Ashland, Dylan Parker, who's had some great performances thus far. About to get his first lap in. Oh, and it is Kite. That is correct. Welcome, Blazer Pete. 2.5 minutes remaining in qualifying. Only 8 drivers with the lap time in, but we've got a few more on track at the moment. Elliott Butler, the Dr. Pepper Cream Soda. Just announced that I think Bubba Wallace is going to be running a Dr. Pepper scheme later in the season. I think Kansas is where they're scheduled to run that. Nice looking paint scheme on that car. Let's see here if we've got Stravato on track. He's completed now his second lap. That'll put him to 5th on the board. Eric Hutton, a race winner, 6th on the board at the moment. Adam Cabot, last week's winner, the Lawn Tech Machine. Going to be completing lap number 1 right here, I believe, as he will run a 30.57, trying to improve there, because currently sitting 13th out of 14 drivers. Going to make it a bit more challenging if he wants to get up and get 2 wins back to back. But what a race last week. Dominating performance. That being said, it was not all easy there at the end with Stravato. Keith Mayato all over the back. And challenging for that race win as well. But he was able to hold him off and in such a fashion that he captured that first victory. And right now, 3rd on the board is Dylan Parker, going to take the pole time for the moment. Just over a minute left in qualifying. As we have a few others trying to get their lap times in. Jeremiah Vincent, he rolls out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway here, which is not really straight at all. It's really curved almost the entire way around. Now headed out of turn number 4. Foot on the throttle, hard on the gas. And going to complete, or start, yeah, that is the completion of lap 1 for him. He'll try and improve here on lap number 2. Currently 18th out of 18 drivers with a time in. On board with Jeremiah Vincent down into 3 and 4, right down in that lowest groove as the car is starting to slip away from him just a little bit. A little correction there. Now down onto the apron, which is legal here at Chicagoland Speedway. And across the start-finish line, he'll go with a 30.213. That's only going to be good enough for 17th out of the 18 drivers with the time. Come to the end of qualifying. That is going to do it. Drivers have what they have. See where your favorite drivers are starting in tonight's race. Rolling off from the pole, it's going to be Dylan Parker, the number 3 machine. The number 8 of Garrett Kite to his outside. Starting in the 3rd position, Adam Cabot, last week's winner, looking to repeat. And Jeff Wright, a winner from earlier this season, also looking to get another victory on the year. Safe Ferris, who's really had a surge here over the last few races, starting 5th. Angelo Ronis also performing extremely well. Could be starting in the 6th position. Yusuf Ghali, who desperately needs some good races, is going to be rolling off 7th. Elliot Butler going to be starting in the 8th position. Zach Halpern starting in 9th, and points leader, number 33, AJ Stravato, he'll be starting from the 10th position. Going off from 11th, it's Alec Martinez starting 12th. Greg Wellens starting in 13th. Eric Hutton, race winner from earlier this year. Caleb Hattery starting in 14th. Mark Emerson starting in the 15th position. Jordan Ashland going to be starting in 16th. Jeremiah Vincent rolling off from 17th. And Eddie Trejo starting in 18th, I believe, last of the drivers with a qualifying time. Connor Horn going to be starting from 19th. Connor looking for his 4th victory of the season, and nearly captured it here in the season finale last year. But we'll see if any tensions or memories from that race boil over here tonight. So there was definitely a lot of drama at the conclusion of the season. Ben Bafford going to be starting in the 20th position. Bailey Turner starting 21st. 22nd is Keith Mayato. 23rd, Dane Cruz. 24th, William Troy. And that's going to do it here. 24 drivers in tonight's field. They are all gridded up. 130 laps around this racetrack. Take a look at the weather for tonight's event. 78 degree air temp. 113 degree track temp. So going to be a bit slick for these drivers out here tonight on this kind of worn out surface, which is Chicagoland Speedway. The field gets rolling now. Who is your choice to win? Who's your favorite driver? Let us know who you are rooting for, and we'll try and follow along with them throughout the race tonight. We've got Garrett Kite as a pick from Reggie. We've got Mr. Random Numbers there, 1, 2, 4, 4, cheering on the leader. which is an easy one. But right now that is Dylan Parker. So I guess he's picked the 3 car of Dylan, who has had some great drives this season. Still looking for that first victory of the year. But the field working down into turns 3 and 4. Race 10 of the season. And we will have an off week next week, but there are only 18 races in the regular season, so we are just past the halfway point in the regular season. Gotta be pretty fun to see what happens here as these drivers now with the pace car rolling off, waiting for that green flag, and there it is. Green flag here at Chicagoland Speedway for the Chicagoland 195 in the Virtual Racing League. We are underway. The field side by side all the way through down into turn 1. Adam Cabot all over the back bumper on the attack, trying to take the lead away here straight away. And he wants to get right back to where he was at the end of last week's race. And he is really loose down there on the inside line, but he has taken over the race lead, and it looks like he'll lead lap number 1. But Dylan Parker charging back on the outside. Down into 1 and 2, it's still Cabot leading the low line, and now Garrett Kite has dropped in behind him. The 77 up the racetrack right in front of Dylan Parker, can't complete the block, and here comes the 3 machine. Down the back straightaway, side by side, Jeff Wright has joined the party. Safe Ferris in that 5th position, trying to get up there with Angelo Ronas as well. Could be a 6-car group here for the race lead, but Adam Cabot hanging on just narrowly over Dylan Parker. We'll have to see who gets that lap. Dylan at the line will lead that lap. So 2 laps complete, 2 different leaders. Can Jeff Wright get up there and lead a lap? Now as he looks to the inside, he'll get behind the Magic Man, Adam Cabot, down into 1 and 2. And slip up the racetrack just a little bit. We'll see the aero push become an issue at certain points throughout tonight's race, as Dylan Parker once again at the line has that race lead to the outside line. Working pretty well for these drivers. Look at Cabot, the big correction right there out of turn number 2. And that is going to cost him quite a bit of momentum, but here comes Safe Fares, giving Garrett Kite a big push down the back straightaway as the drivers all trying to figure out where they want to run. Take a look at the points leader, AJ Stravato, right here, all by himself in the 9th position. No challengers for that spot at the moment. But Alec Martinez in 10th might start to close in. We know Alec is a driver to preserve his stuff and try and charge towards the front. Keith Mayato back here battling it up with, it looks like the 24 Bailey Turner in a Lawn Tech machine. Also Ben Bafford and Bailey Turner, or Eddie Trejo. And Connor Horn back here as well. A few drivers saving tires early on in this race, and maybe going to start to march their way forward towards the end of this stage. Connor Horn working that outside lane up there right by the wall. And this is one of the tracks where they've added the dynamic surface. And you'll see drivers working a lot of different lines here. As see Connor Horn, Mark Emerson using the 2nd and 3rd grooves and kind of cutting down the racetrack. Other drivers hanging right by that white line. As Jeff Wright now to the front, trying to work on past the 3 of Dylan Parker. He's got the preferred groove. And in this race last year, Jeff was very quick. And ultimately a strategy call, I believe, is what put him out of contention from winning. Or actually, he may have even recovered from that. But he was dominant, I believe, in this race last year. And right now, leading the way over Adam Cabot, Dylan Parker. The 77 and the 3, side by side in 1 and 2. Look at Cabot drive it up out of turn number 2. He's going to take that spot with authority as he goes down the backstretch right to the back bumper of the 48 of Jeff Wright. Yusuf Ghali here in the 8th position, like we said, needs a good run. And currently back one spot, but in the points paying positions, which the top 8 will earn points at the end of the stage. Let's go for a little ride on board with the number 54. Last year's champion, has not had the year that he needs thus far. But you can see he's working right down by that white line, carrying a lot of speed in the corners. Over 170 miles an hour down through the turns, and as they enter turn number 1, up there by 185. And slowest that I'm seeing there through the corner, about 173 for Yusuf. So definitely some good speed, but he's got AJ Stravato and Jordan Ashland closing in. Got to be careful of those two. Jordan's had some good races this far in the season. How about this 3 wide back here? Ben Baffert, who I believe was the pole sitter last week and had a pretty good opening bit to the event. Had some mistakes when they restarted, and his race was cut short. Right now battling with Keith Mayato, who nearly had a shot to win the race. Battling it up with these guys here. Outside the top 15 right now. Baffert in the 16th position. Mayato trying to take that from him using the inside line. Connor Horn kind of waiting right behind for something to happen. Maybe just biding his time. Now the second position being handed back to Dylan Parker. Here comes Safe Ferris, who we've seen a lot of really good long run speed from him over the last few races. That's how he's been able to gain so many positions late in the going. And right now, starting up here towards the front and running up here towards the front. Maybe some newfound confidence in the driver in the 44. Who has made his way up into the top 10 in the point standings and continuing to ascend from there, as well as the top 7 or 8. Actually even farther back than that, all the way back to Bailey Turner and Ben Baffert. Everybody is single file. You see Connor Horton's made it around Keith Mayato, and now he is on the attack for the 24 of Bailey Turner and the 23 of Ben Baffert. That 67 we're used to seeing make some moves, and also pretty good at saving his stuff. And right now trying to march forward about halfway through the stage. Keith Mayato, Mark Emerson, no strangers to each other here. Racing it up side by side. Mark able to get past Keith, so maybe Keith is saving some fuel or saving some tires. And he is back to the 20th position and not where we'd expect him to be at this point in the race. And that is true, Reggie. A lot of races left to set yourself up for the playoffs. But the more you can do early on in the season, the less you've got to do late in the season, and the less stress you'll have. Oh, look at the big slide from Cabot there out of turn number 4. That might allow Safe Ferris to get up alongside. You can see him close the gap now to just about 1 car length down into turn number 1. The 44 closing in and now working a slightly higher groove. The 77 going to try and take the air away from the nose of Ferris. Doesn't really seem to work that time around. Still 1 car length separating 3rd and 4th positions. And about 2 car lengths here between Garrett Kite and Elliott Butler. As Cabot now working that high groove again, carrying a lot of momentum out of turn 4. He'll stretch that margin back to 4th place by about 3 car lengths now. And Dylan Parker still hanging around here in the 2nd spot. But the leader, Jeff Wright, has pulled away to about 0.6 of a second. And he's about to get out of that zone where these guys will get a lot of drafting help. And if he can do that, he's got the clean air. And that is so important with this low horsepower, high downforce package. You can break away. You have a massive advantage over the field. And right now, starting to stretch that lead. We're getting closer and closer to lap number 20. field, mostly single file. I did see some battling going on back here. That is Jordan Ashland and Angelo Ronas battling for 10th and 11th. Jordan Ashland all the way down there by the grass, trying to cut the front straightaway as much as possible. And he is pulled alongside the 29, or rather the 29 is pulled past him. As now Zach Halper and Greg Wellen also closing in to this top 10 battle. Eric Hutton also not far back. Hutton started in the 13th position, and he has lost one spot. Unlike his fellow driver here, friend and teammate over in the Below the Double Yellow Racing League, started 10th tonight and up a couple spots, but Stravato has not been able to catch up to Yusuf Ghali. He was closing in, and that margin has grown quite a bit. And Yusuf Ghali may be starting to close in on the 6 of Elliott Butler. Side by side, Garrett Kite, Safe Ferris. This is going to be for the 4th position. Garrett may be starting to march forward after falling a little bit in the opening laps, as he is now side by side, nose to nose down the back straightaway with the 44 machine down into 3 and 4. Safe Ferris with the advantage. But, oh, the 8 up into him. They're going to rub doors down the front straightaway. They both hang on to it. That is good that is how that worked out, because it could have worked out extremely differently. And the 8 could have gotten turned off the nose of the 44. Got to be very careful when you come up the racetrack like that. I think Garrett maybe thought he was going to be clear, and that was definitely not the case. The whole car was alongside. And yes, Reggie, nice reminder there. If you're enjoying the race tonight on Twitch, just want to keep you aware that we are going to be switching over to YouTube and Facebook starting in the next race, which is going to be in 2 weeks, as State Fair is able to hold off Garrett Kite. Here comes Yusuf Ghali to the inside of Elliott Butler for that 6th position, and AJ Stravato, Alec Martinez also closing in as drivers are side by side in front of them. So we will be switching to YouTube and Facebook starting on the 12th, which is exactly 2 weeks from today. Next week is a bye week, so we won't have a broadcast on Wednesday night, and we'll be transitioning to YouTube the following week, along with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. We'll be switching over to YouTube the following night as well. See, AJ Stravato, he's got some pressure from Alec Martinez. This battle, 8th and 9th, a little battle within itself, as Stravato nearly trying to shoot the gap there, but nowhere to go. He elects to jump outside behind the 6 of Elliott Butler, and maybe going to cut down here on the exit of turn number 2. The 6 car is starting to fade a little bit, and everybody reeling him in the 54 of Yusuf Ghali, not able to complete the pass. Got no drafting help or anything down there, and here comes Stravato, going to look to the middle, and this is a bold move indeed, but he is going to try and shoot the gap, and he is going to be successful for the moment, but he's going to get some help from Martinez, as he is now going to take it 3 wide through the middle. What a great pass and move there by Stravato, your points leader, showing why he's got that huge margin over the field coming into tonight's race. And look at that, able to clear both drivers. Alec Martinez still trying to find a way around Elliott Butler, but he is not going to find it just yet. The 6 down low. Here comes Alec with the run off the high side, going to cut down in front of Yusuf, and then back to the high side he goes to try and challenge into turn number 1. Good racing out here tonight. Welcome, King Sloshbuckler. Thanks for joining. Hope you're enjoying the race. As look at this battle building here. Alec Martinez all over the back bumper. Looks to the inside. Not going to make it work this time. Here comes Yusuf Ghali. Going to challenge down low. Yusuf won this race last year. Knows he has the potential to do the same this race, and he could very much use that boost in confidence and performance. Is now 3 wide down into one. Alec Martinez holding that middle ground, doing a great job as these guys battle for the last point in the stage. Really tight out of turn number 2. Yusuf Gawi going to have to back out of it a bit. He'll drop in behind these two as they battle for the 7th position. And Alec, really good run down low. He might just be able to slide right up in front, and he will. Slide job complete, but Elliott going to challenge back down low. Alec's going to give him the lane. They might just flip-flop like this until the end of the stage, and whoever's in front gets those points. But Alec Martinez losing ground there. He's going to try and do almost the exact same thing. Oh, and he's up in the wall. Alec Martinez brushes the outside wall, trying to squeeze past the 6 of Elliott Butler, and not able to do it. Take another look at this. The 6 got loose after a little contact with the 18. That checked them all up. They're still battling it out. This is crazy. This battle for the 6th, 7th, and 8th positions. Or 7th, 8th, and 9th, rather. Greg Wellen starting to close in because of all of this. And meanwhile, a little bit farther up, Safe Ferris has really closed back in on the 77 of Adam Cabot. Just about 0.3 of a second separating him. 0.3 of a second between the 77 and the 3 of Dylan Parker, who is still hanging on to second, and Jeff Wright stealing the show here tonight. He has driven away 2.3 seconds out in front. That Pepsi machine looks like he is going to be on his way to a stage win just a few laps time. Another great performance by the 48. We'll see if he's able to capitalize and actually take the race win. We've seen him run like this in the past. Run so well up front, and strategy calls have thrown him off generally. But we'll see if he sticks to more of a traditional strategy and just wins it on outright speed. No real battles developing there for the moment. Yusuf Gawi still on the back bumper of Elliott Butler. And this is some fantastic driving by these two. But don't look now. Here comes Greg Wellen closing in. Those are the cars battling for the final points-paying position in the stage. And Eric Hutton is here as well. He's arrived in the 11th spot. And good run out of turn 4. That'll get him to the inside of Wellen. We'll see if Greg just rolls over and lets him take it, and he does. Here comes Connor Horn as well. Connor up to 13th after starting all the way back in 19th. And he even fell farther back than that early on in this, and he is starting to move forward at a rapid pace. Last time by as fast as the race leader, which is not a surprise, other than the fact he's in this dirty air. Connor up 6 spots, really marching forward and doing a great job here late in stage number 1. But back to this side-by-side battle. It's not over. Greg Wellen, Eric Hutton are closing in as well. They've really shrunken that gap as Yusuf Gawi cannot get around Elliott Butler. They're just constantly fighting it out for the 8th position. And Hutton closing in now just 2 car lengths behind the 54. And no cautions here in stage number 1. It has been clean and green the entire way around. Jeff Wright, as he exits turn number 2, 2.7 seconds in hand. And clearly on his way to a stage win unless he runs out of gas. But let's take a look at this battle side by side. Down the back straightaway, Yusuf Gawi to the outside this time. Can he send it into 3 and 4 and hang on to the quarter panel? Or is Elliott Butler going to be able to slide up in front of him? This is the last spot for points in the stage. Elliott Butler 8th across the line. He'll take that final point. And what a battle there for that spot as Alec Martinez was able to get clear of it all. And set to battle there were the 54 and the 6. But the top 8 in the stage shown here. Jeff Wright earning another playoff point and 8 bonus points, which will help him potentially close the gap to AJ Stravato. Dylan Parker 2nd, Adam Cabot 3rd, Safe Ferris 4th, Garrett Kite 5th, AJ Stravato 6th, Alec Martinez 7th, and Elliott Butler rounding out the stage points earners in the top 8 here in stage 1. How about some of that racing? That was action-packed. Even if it wasn't for the race lead, it was pretty crazy. Side-by-side battling back in the field. And we are under the yellow flag for the first time. The stage break. Driver's going to bring it to pit road, get some fresh rubber. Lap times had fallen off by a few seconds. Or nearly 2 seconds by the time that the yellow flag came out. Jeff Wright leads them down the pit lane. And we're going to go side by side with a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
Pace car lights are off. Driver's going to be going green this time. Great pit stop for the 44. Safe Ferris, who emerges second off of pit lane. Jeff Wright won that battle off of the pit road. Garrett Kite, AJ Stravato, Adam Cabot, the top 5. So Cabot with not the best of pit stops. Dylan Parker also losing quite a few positions there. Maybe hard to get out of the box. Back up to speed for them. Not exactly sure, but right now Safe Fares and Jeff Wright up here on the front row. Wright with the advantage, potentially. Green flag back in the air, and the 48 gets us back underway. As they're going to go 3 wide right behind him. Safe Fares, Garrett Kite. AJ Stravato shooting the gap like he did just a little bit ago, and he gets into the 44. In 1 and 2, that is going to slow up Ferris significantly as he is now stuck in the outside lane. Eric Hutton, or Greg Wellen rather, to the inside. Hutton, the next one in line to attack the now potentially damaged 44 machine. They go side by side for second position. Garrett Kite, Dylan Parker. The 8 car was pretty quick there later in the going. And look at that, the 3 slipping up the racetrack just a little bit. He's going to have to lift. Here comes Stravato. Does he go to the inside? He will. Big challenge down there. 3 wide down into turn number 3. And Stravato trying to hang on to it down low here. Dylan Parker in the middle groove. They're able to hang on to it and keep it clean out of turn number 4, but still 3 wide down the front straightaway. Adam Cabot using that 3rd groove. And Dylan Parker going to emerge the victor of that battle, but he still has a little ways to go as Cabot all over the back bumper. And AJ Stravato's lost some ground now. Here comes Yusuf Ghali to the outside. Yusuf going to try and take the 5th position away. Got some help from the draft the cars in front of him. They fares now into the 7th position, lost quite a bit from the contact with the 33 into turn 1. Eric Hutton not close enough to make a charge at the 44, but he's gotten around the 94 of Greg Wellen. And Elliott Butler has lost a few positions in this exchange here through the pit cycle and all. And Connor Horn, the driver on the march, he's up to the 12th position now, trying to take 11th position away from Jordan Ashland. We'll see if he can get it here in 1 and 2. Utilizing that white line, but not able to carry the speed out of the corner. The 27 able to hang on to 11th. Here comes Keith Mayato behind the 67. And he'll make it to the inside of Mark Emerson. Not quite clear of him out of turn number 4. But using that shorter line here on the front straightaway might be able to clear him into turn 1. But no, the 22 still hanging on the quarter panel. Now Mayato clears him into turn 1. And going to try and follow Connor Horn up through. But up here, the top 4, a few car lengths out in front of Stravato and Gali, who battle it out for 5th. Stravato taking that spot back. Here comes Safe Ferris nearly to the outside of the 54, and he will get there down the front straightaway, just to the quarter panel into turn 1. And Yusuf, I think, trying to save his stuff a little bit. The 44 of Safe Ferris using that higher groove. He'll get a lot of momentum down the back straightaway. Might even be able to clear the 54, and he does, down into turn number 3. Meanwhile, Dylan Parker closer than he's been all race. He is up here 1 car length behind race leader Jeff Wright, who's dominated tonight. 48 car has led nearly every lap. Except for the first handful. When he got to the lead, he did not give it up. And now he's in danger of losing it to the 3, who can't quite get to the inside. 48 shuts him off as they slide through turns 3 and 4 and up out of 4. 2 or 3 car lengths in hand for the 48. We'll see if he can stretch this out. Remember, almost 3 seconds out in front at the end of the stage. They don't want to see that car get that far out again. It's going to be so tough to make it up. Almost impossible, realistically. How about this? Safe Fair is able to get around AJ Stravato, and that bright blue, white, and black machine really putting up some good lap times right now. As fast as the race leader, or nearly as fast. But how much is he burning up his stuff? He's closed in on the back of Adam Cabot, last week's winner. Going to challenge for that 4th position here in 1 and 2. He'll go to the outside, trying to carry that speed. 77 going to try and slide up in front of him, and he will be able to, but safe with that drive off right to the back bumper. '77 a little bit loose up high. Safe down low. Not able to complete the pass. But going to have another charge at it here up out of turn number 2. It's a good run. He'll look to the inside, down the back straightaway. AJ Stravato behind. He's trying to capture as much draft as possible. And the 44 trying to pull the slide job. Not quite clear yet. But Cabot, you can see how much he is wiggling up there in that higher groove. Really uncomfortable up there. And safe now in the lower lane, the shorter way around the track, but going to be hard to complete the pass that way. He's not going to be able to do it. Here comes Stravato now. Going to utilize the high groove, and he'll get to the outside of the 44. As this is some great battling and some awesome racing. But now a spot lost for Ferris. Maybe burned up the stuff in that V-Speed machine, and the 54 of Yusuf Gali looking on, maybe sensing some blood in the water. But we'll see if Safe gets it back up to speed here and challenges those guys up in front. Adam Cabot running that line right up by the outside wall. The Larson line, as it's been minted. And the machine maybe starting to feel some pressure for that third position. Garrett has been very good on the middle portion of a run, and pretty decent on the long runs as well. And this time he's been pretty quick here on the short run. But how long can they sustain that? Racing as hard as they are up here. But look at this back here, this cluster of race cars all challenging each other. Connor Horn up into the top 10 finally. He's going to look to the outside of Greg Wellen and using that second and third groove. It seemed to be the way to get around people, but he's going to try and use a slingshot there. Running the high lane, all that momentum. He's going to clear the 94. Greg not really worried about racing it up too hard with these guys. Maybe trying to preserve his stuff. Got a long ways to go in this race. Elliott Butler, who's up there and finished in the top 8 for stage number 1, all the way back to 12th now. And Mark Emerson maybe starting to challenge for that spot. Both of these guys have been passed up by Keith Mayato, who's up to 11th. Keith trying to have another strong run here to follow up his performance at Darlington, the podium finish there. Side by side up here, Yusuf Ghali to the inside of Saif Ferris. I think Saif maybe did use the stuff up a little bit too quickly on this run, but the 54 is going to get on past. Or try to, but Saif still hanging on that quarter. Now Yusuf clears himself just barely in front of 44, and Connor Horn has moved up to 8th position. And that 67 car is on a charge, but we've got a car spinning down into the grass. That is Adam Cabot. Trying to find him here. There he is, able to collect it, but some damage to the left side. Maybe made contact with that inside wall, but first caution for an accident. Take a look at what happened to the Magic Man. Ooh, and there was a bigger hit here that we did not see initially. Garrett Kite and Adam Cabot racing it up here for third. 77 off the wall, comes down. Oh, Stravato involved in it as well. But look at the hit by Garrett, man, up through the air. And able to land on all fours, but what an absolutely destructive wreck. As he instantly took it behind the wall. Up the racetrack, he knew he was going to make contact. 77 hit the wall. And, oh, just obscured by the pole there. Let's go take another look at this. Taking a look at Garrett Kite, who gets tagged from behind and almost accelerates. Oh, man, what a vicious crash. And he is retired from the race. Big damage for the 77 on both sides of that race car. Also the 40, or rather the 33 of Stravato with the nose damage on that race car. He is not going to stay to get it fixed. He'll get back out on the racetrack, maybe thinking he really needs the track position. He'll exit 5th off of pit lane, but Connor Horn up to 4th on that pit exchange. Made up multiple spots. And this is got to be worrisome for the drivers in front. But Dylan Parker does win the battle off pit road. Really nice trip down the pit lane. 4/10 faster than Jeff Wright. He'll emerge the race leader. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Back to Chicagoland Speedway for the Virtual Racing League. Tonight's race, the VRL Chicagoland 195, 130 laps, and we are approaching halfway. Dylan Parker, your race leader at the moment, completed the first stage. The drivers trying to set themselves up here for good points positions headed towards the playoffs. We're still 8 races away, but it's never too early to make some progress there. Get yourself in a position where you're not going to have to stress come playoff time. And Dylan Parker has been very quick all season long. He's got an opportunity here. Maybe win a race, climb a couple spots in the standings, see how it goes. Still 70 laps to go in tonight's race. So it'll be Dylan Parker, the 48 of Jeff Wright, Yusuf Ghali, Connor Horn up here into the 4th position, and AJ Stravado with some damage in the 5th spot. We'll see if that car is still up to speed. Restart now as Dylan Parker gets us back underway. The field working down towards turn number 1, trying to settle it out before they get there, but they are going to be side by side the majority of the way through the field. We see Hutton able to slide down into the bottom lane, but everyone else still hanging up there on the outside. Yusuf Ghali able to clear for second, and he's going to try and challenge Dylan Parker for the race lead. Down to turn number 4, Dylan really pushing that race car. He's got a couple of car lengths in hand, which is pretty good here on a restart. But Jeff Wright, that outside lane, still showing some speed. And he is working that middle groove. Here comes Connor Horn as well. That Matt Black 67 who started towards the rear of the field tonight. He's a 3-time winner this season, looking for the 4th victory. And was one of the top contenders here last season in this race. And is often a contender week to week. But challenge for the race lead. Dylan Parker, I think, had it at the line. No, I believe it. Yes, actually he did. 1/1000th of a second. And Jeff Wright now taking that spot away. 48 working the draft perfectly, but he's still going to open up the door for the 3 of Dylan Parker to get alongside. Maybe a little side draft action as they go down into 3 and 4. Nearly contact. But Dylan Parker able to slip underneath, and he'll take the lead away as they head back towards the start-finish line. These two kind of leapfrogging one another, and they've pulled a little bit of a margin over Connor Horn. And the 48 back to the outside, the 3 trying to pinch him up as high as possible. And Jeff Wright working the side draft a little bit here through the turns. That'll keep him right alongside out of turn number 2. Door contact down the back straightaway. Nose to nose into turn 3. Who's going to have the advantage? Headed towards the front straightaway. The 3 of Dylan Parker trying to keep it down low. The 48 with the momentum up high. He's going to have the lead, I think, at the line. But it's only going to be by about a foot. He does, but these two so tight to each other. And they are absolutely driving away. Connor Horn still about 6/10 behind. Saw a car maybe with an issue. Not sure who that was. Maybe it was Greg Wellen down low. He's lost some ground. And Keith Maiato now challenging to get up in the top 5. And he has gotten there. Mark Emerson as well up into 4th position. Quite a few drivers starting from the rear up here in contention now. As 4 wide, they go down the front straightaway. Oh, there's some contact. Yusuf Ghali in the middle. He's going to make contact with Eric Hutton, still trying to save it down low. He's going to tag the 24, who hangs on to it. What a piece of driving by both Eric Hutton and Bailey Turner. and everyone else able to avoid. Save Ferris trying to get up back through the field into the top 5. He's lost quite a bit of ground. But let's go back and take a look at that. That was absolutely wild. There was no way that was going to work into turn number 1. Elliott Butler got a huge run behind Greg Will, and he went to the 4th lane, and the 94 just kind of came up into him. The 54 didn't realize they were 4 wide, I think, trying to hang on to it. Just tags the 24 of Bailey Turner. And man, what a save by everyone involved. But now some damage to the 24. Potentially just a little bit there. Still hanging tough in the 10th position. Keith Mayato, Mark Emerson battling it out side by side. This is for 4th and 5th, and Mark able to take that spot away. And up front, still dead even. Dylan Parker and Jeff Wright. This is a great battle. It's gone on now for what, 5-6 laps. Dead even at the front of the field, and whoever gets out in front here could have the advantage and might end up your winner. But don't forget Connor Horn, 0.8 of a second behind, lurking. Seeing those top 2 fighting it out. Biding his time here. We'll see if he can start to close in. Right down by the grass, almost in it. And last time by, he was about a 0.5 faster than these 2 up front. Look at Dylan Parker with the big slide. That's going to hand the race lead to the 48. And it will close the gap back to the 67, who has now really found some pace down the back straightaway. And AJ Stravato has blown an engine, has limped it back to pit road. But what a disaster for the points leader. He did not need that. That 66-point gap is definitely going to shrink after tonight's race. Jeff Wright winning that stage. Now back out in the race lead, trying to capitalize on this. Always some drama here in the Virtual Racing League, and this is just another twist in the story here in the 2021 season. The top 3 have broken away. Connor Horn now within a 0.5 second of the race leader. Then Keith Mayato, Mark Emerson, 4th and 5th positions. Both really good races. Mark up 11 spots. Keith up 17 spots. So both of them have made a ton of progress. Along with Connor Horn up 16 positions. And starting to challenge maybe for that 2nd spot here in a couple laps. Jeff Wright really pushing that race car. He's used his stuff up, I think, a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Having to battle with the 3. And Connor now stalking these 2. He's 1 car length behind 2nd place. And at one point in this race, he was outside the 20th position. I think maybe even back to 21st or so. Now he goes to the inside, challenging for 2nd. Connor Horn going to take 2nd spot away. Dylan Parker going to have to settle for 3rd for the moment. Will he try and pull a bit of a crossover here? Not going to have the speed. They work down the back straightaway. And the 48 of Jeff Wright now sees that black Toyota Camry behind him. And he knows he's got to get moving. He's pulled out a 0.5 second again over the 67, but he might even have to pick it up a bit more. Connor was faster than him, even passing Dylan Parker. Then this battle is not up just yet, the 22 and the 36. See if there's anything else on the track being raced for. Is the 29 of Angelo Ronas drifting it through 3 and 4. He's racing it up with Alec Martinez. This is 10th and 11th. I don't see anybody else really battling for position. Eric Hutton is closing in on Elliott Butler, but still not quite there. Bailey Turner in the 8th position, doing a good job after that save not long ago. And Safe Ferris here in the 9th position, having recovered somewhat from the contact with AJ Stravato. You have some battling back here. Yusuf Ghali, 16th. Was looking like a promising night for him, and things just went horribly wrong back here in the 15th position. Fighting it out with Zach for that spot. And a little ways further back, you've got Adam Cabot leading Caleb Hattery and Eddie Trejo, the last of the drivers on the lead lap, other than William Troy, who's kind of all on his own, about 20 seconds back. Not sure what happened to William to set him so far behind. Carl looks clean, so we'll see if he's just on a different strategy call here. And then AJ Stravato, the last driver on track, or in the track, 10 laps down now, getting that engine repaired. Still has an opportunity to potentially gain some spots if something happens pretty soon. But if there's no accident within the next few laps, then he's probably going to finish in that 21st position. Battle for the race lead. Jeff Wright, Connor Horn, side by side down through 3 and 4. That 48 car is going to have to battle valiantly here to try and hold off that 67 machine who's come from the back of the pack. And now alongside the quarter panel, see Connor backing out of it early down low, trying to get the momentum on the corner exit, not going to be able to do it. Jeff Wright still hanging on to that race lead. Going to be 50 laps to go next time by, and at least one pit stop remaining for these drivers. This has been very impressive from Jeff Wright, who has now led 69 laps. Doing a very good job up here in the front, holding off the advances of all of these drivers pretty much all race long. He has been able to hang on to this top spot. He'll give it up for a couple laps and take it right back. And Connor looked like he was going to make the move down low, but this might be exactly what he was hoping for. The 48 to the inside line. Here comes Connor with a big run from the high side. 1 car length the difference. The 48 goes to defend up high, and Connor's going to get right to the inside. Down through 1 and 2. A big dive into the corner there. The 48 trying to get the power down up high. Struggling to do so. Nearly tags the wall. He does brush the wall, as they'll be nose to nose down the back straightaway. Dylan Parker not able to do anything from about 10 or 12 car lengths back. And Connor Horn driving the wheels off of that race car. He is now about to take the race lead. He'll lead at the line. And Jeff Wright trying to figure out how to get back to the point here and hold off that 67. The high line, a really good defensive line. Is he going to be able to pull back out in front completely? He has been so close to brushing that wall each and every lap. The 67 down low, really good run into turn 3. Might be able to get the run on the front stretch, but no, here comes the 48 again, side by side down the front straightaway. And they're both going to go to the apron. The 48 with the wider arc, he'll get a bit more momentum down into turn 1. And might be able to pull back out in front along the back straightaway. A big slide there, nearly contact as they make their way out of turn number 2. And it is getting very intense here at Chicagoland for the race lead. Connor Horn is charged through the field. Jeff Wright's been up here all race long, and now they deal it out for the top spot. That time by Jeff Wright, the leader at the line. This is exactly what we saw with Jeff and the 3 of Dylan Parker. Eventually Jeff won that battle, but this time maybe a bit wide out of the corner, nearly brushes the wall, but he might just clear the 67, and he does. Down into 3 and 4. Connor now taking that high line. This is what we saw before the whole side-by-side battle. And it might just happen right again. The 67, real good run out of the corner. 48 down to the apron, the shortest route. He'll open up the bottom lane and let Connor take that. Connor not gonna accept that, and he's gonna ride right in line with the 48. We'll see if he can cut down the track here and get to the inside. Almost does that time. Not gonna be able to though. They work down the back straightaway again. But what a battle up front. We've also got some battles farther back, side by side. Bailey Turner, Eric Hutton. Also Elliot Butler, Safe Ferris here. Alec Martinez closing into all of that as well. So this could be 5 or 6 cars under a blanket in no time. And that is 6th on back. Meanwhile, up front, oh, and big push there. Oh, and contact, the 48 hard in the wall. Mark Emerson into him, the 48 flipping, flying through the air. He's going to come to a skidding stop here on the apron, or actually back up in the race surface. Trying to get it turned around. His car's still approaching, and that is going to be the end of the night for the 48 as the 3 of Dylan Parker closed in. Things went wildly wrong for the Wild Cherry Pepsi, number 48. Let's take a look at what happened here. 48, bit tight to the wall there on the exit. And 67 of Connor Horn gets to the back bumper, and that's what started it all. Is 67 of Connor Horn tags the 48. And then the 3 of Dylan Parker getting in there. They make door-to-door contact, and then, man, what a big hit. And a second hit shoots him forward, spinning and sliding. Ending up on all fours nearly. Some contact there with Eric Hutton and Dylan Parker. And what a bummer for the 48 of Jeff Wright. Let's go back, see if we can find this in the in-car camera. Really good saves to start it there. See him driving it down the track here. Still trying to save it a little bit, and that's why they made contact. And man, it's flying through the air, so disorienting. Nearly tagged again, but what a way to end your night. He had the opportunity to close up on AJ Stravato, and the opportunity is gone. He'll gain a few points, but that could open the door for Connor Horn to take the points lead. Jeff Wright going to stay on the racetrack. Pull it behind the pace car. We'll see if there's any kind of payback or anything that's going to happen here. Connor's going to work down the back straightaway. Mark Emerson was able to luckily phase through the 48 and would have otherwise brought an end to the night of the 22. Keith Mayato was able to avoid it all as well, but Keith lost a lot of spots on pit road that time. Meanwhile, you see the 48 leading the way. Connor, I think, a bit hesitant to get up in the mix there, having really instigated all of that. And Jeff does have a couple of laps to do this, and then he will get the disqualification if he does not bring it back down. But right now, still the race leader. He has led 73 laps here. It'll be 40 to go next time by, and smoking it up. We're going to run until it blows up, not exactly sure. But Dylan Parker also made hard contact there. He's been on pit road for nearly 2 minutes and already 1 lap down. We'll see if he is going to go another one down or not. And the 48, really slow down low here. But he is going to roll out of the way of these leaders. Or maybe not. The 67 of Connor Horn driving away. The 48, maybe some revenge going to happen right here under pace laps. He's trying to catch him, but I don't think he can catch him. He doesn't have the engine power. as he'll work down the pit lane. Connor Horn able to survive that, but also passing the pace car could be a problem for the 67. Not sure if they'll give him a clear for whatever black flag may come of that. Jeff Wright still your race leader for the moment, but didn't even bring it into his pit box. I think still out on the hunt for that 67 car. You wanted drama? We have drama. And these two have driven completely away from the pace car. And yeah, no kidding. There is trouble for sure, as Jeff Wright probably going to have to bring it into his box this time, and he will park it in the 67's box. So that, see what the admins have to do with all of this, if they assign any blame to that incident. Meanwhile, Dylan Parker did only go one lap down, so he'll be the only car one lap down. Jeff Wright still sitting in the pit box, but not his own, as the field getting the one to go this time. It'll be less than 40 laps to go, and kind of an unprecedented incident has really just happened here, with potential payback under yellow not quite coming to fruition. But the 48 car, maybe the engine's blown, we're not exactly sure, but it is not smoking anymore, so we'll see if the 48 continues to sit on pit lane there. And the 67 of Connor Horn will be your race leader. Mark Emerson second, Elliott Butler third, Eric Hutton fourth, State Ferris fifth, Bailey Turner sixth, Alec Martinez seventh, Angelo Ronas eighth, Keith Mayato ninth. Rounding out the top 10 is Zach Halpern. So tensions running high here tonight in this race at Chicagoland, just like they did last season in the season finale. See how they get going here. Pace car on the pit lane. Green flag back in the air, and Mark Emerson not able to get going with the 67, but still might be able to get down and clear for second spot, and we'll see if anybody has anything for that 67 of Connor Horn. They go three wide for the third position. Bailey Turner making a little bit of door contact there with Eric Hutton. A blinking of the 6 car down low. Where does Bailey Turner go? Is he going to shoot the gap in the middle like we've seen a few drivers do? Alec Martinez down to the inside now. He's going to take it three wide with State Ferris and Bailey Turner. They work down the front straightaway. Keith Mayato right there behind him. Keith was up in the top 5 before the pit cycle. Now Bailey Turner hanging on to that 5th position, but here comes State Ferris back to the outside. And a big wiggle there for Alec Martinez. He'll hang on to it, but that's going to open the door for Mayato to take it three wide with Zach Halpern and the 18. And he's going to send it down into 3 and 4 side by side with Halpern. That'll be for the 7th position. Right now, Mark Emerson, big challenge down low. Was not the leader at the line. That was still Connor Horn. But Mark Emerson, the door has been opened up, and Mark had a good race going. It was either last week or a couple weeks ago, and he has found trouble quite a few times here this season. Has not had the finishes that I think he probably does deserve. But now challenging for the race lead here at Chicagoland. Going to try and take it away from the 67 of Connor Horn. Down towards the start-finish line. He'll lead at the line. Side by side through turns 1 and 2. We'll see who comes out on the other end. As the race leader, Mark, going to pull a slide job up in front, and he's going to get a little tap. Connor Horn down into the grass. He is sliding towards the inside while Carl launches into the air. And Connor gets back up on the racing surface, but what a save as he went over the running track there, and that car slams the ground. And he is surely going to have some type of damage to the 67 Toyota Camry, and obviously going to be quite upset with the slide job pulled there, but Mark Emerson taking the lead away. Let's go back one more time and see how this happened. Slides up in front, a little bit of contact there. Mark able to hang on to it, Connor not able to. And now the battle is on for the race lead. Here comes Eric Hutton. Already a race winner this season. Also Safe Ferris, Bailey Turner, Keith Mayato, Elliott Butler. The door is open for any of these guys to capture a win. Maybe their first, maybe their second. Right now it's not looking like Jeff Wright or Connor Horn, who were really the top contenders up until about 10 laps ago. And Eric Hutton side by side with Mark Emerson. He's going to try and pull a slide job as well, but the door is not open for that to happen. He almost slid right up into the nose of the 22, and now Mark Emerson with a push from Bailey Turner. Look at this, chaotic racing for the race lead. Mark Emerson, that high groove has been so dominant all of tonight, but Bailey Turner, how about this? Nearly getting wrecked, I don't know, about 15, 20 laps ago. And now he's up here challenging for the race lead. Keith Mayato right here as well. He started towards the rear of the field. But what a crazy race. 3 wide for the lead. Bailey Turner up in that third groove. Is he going to get it? As they try and exit turn number 2, nearly up against one another. A little bobble there by the 88. Bailey Turner with the advantage into turn 3. And Mark Emerson, a little door rub in there. He's going to make contact with Bailey, who's trying to hang on to it. Mayato, nowhere to go. He's going to be stuck behind him. He'll lose a lot of momentum. The 44 of Safe Ferris now emerges third position. He's going to try and do the same technique, but the 22 shuts the door. The 6 car of Elliott Butler blinking really badly in the middle of all of this. And he might have just blinked out for good. No, there he is again. And that is very disconcerting for a lot of these drivers. If you're racing 3, 4 wide and you've got cars blinking, it could really make for some big accidents. As the 44 Safe Ferris trying to get to the outside again, can't do it. And the 6 car blinking back into existence right there behind him. Safe now working that low lane. Mark Emerson, good run out of turn 2. He's going to take the lead back away, and Eric Hutton down low, trying to find something to challenge for that lead. Hutton had the lead last time around, but obviously that low line not the way to go for any extended period of time. You can make it work for a lap, maybe 2, but that high line has been victorious almost every single time. And look at Safe Ferris' big run out of turn 2. He's going to cut right between the 2 cars, the 22 and the 88. And now Safe Ferris challenging for the race lead. Safe Ferris out to the point, maybe the first time he's led laps this season, or one of only a handful. That 44 car has found something here in the last few races. He's found a lot of speed and confidence, and now leading the pack here at Chicagoland. At 22, Mark Emerson, though, he says, not going to get away from me, but right now, Safe working that high groove. He's got a car length now, 2 over the 22 of Mark Emerson, and just has to work the air just right. And Mark Emerson, big slide right there. That's going to cost him momentum. As now they go single file, the top 5, top 10. And the next battle, Yusuf Ghali alongside Angelo Ronas. This is some great racing tonight here from Chicagoland. Lots of unexpected twists and turns along the way. You see Connor Horn in 14th trying to recover. The car obviously not all that damaged. He's still as quick as the top 5. And he is lucky that that car is not more damaged than it is. Just some nose scuffs and scrapes. Meanwhile, up here, it's getting tighter and tighter for the top 5. Alec Martinez under pressure from Keith Mayato. And Bailey Turner, who nearly lost it about 5 laps ago. He's here in 7th trying to recover. Jordan Ashland side by side with Zach Halpern. He'll win that battle. 8th, 9th, 10th right there on your screen. Wow, not able to complete the pass on Alec Martinez. That low line just so hard to pass drivers without a slide job. And side by side behind them, though, Zach Halpern to the inside this time. We'll pull a slide job on Ashland. Up the racetrack they go. 27 gets back underneath. And Eddie Trejo right here in the mix as well. Meanwhile, out front, Safe Ferris is absolutely driven away from the pack. Now 1.3 seconds in front of Marcus Emerson, who's side by side with Eric Hutton. Elliott Butler right here in the mix for the runner-up spot as well. And they've gone about 19 laps. I think they can make it on fuel, but it will be close. It'll be 42 or so when they get to the end of the stage, or end of the race. That is if they are going to go green the entire way. And the way they're racing, it's going to be hard to believe that will be the case. Back here, Connor Horn not able to really advance too much more. He's still in the 13th position. And the times have fallen off just a bit. Elliott Butler really blinking badly up here alongside Eric Hutton. And we've got Safe Ferris continuing to pull away. Now 2 seconds out in front as they race it up for second spot. This would be a heck of a day for Mark Emerson as well. He's led 5 laps, up 13 positions. Eric Hutton up 10. He's led 3 laps, and we're 3 wide right now for the third spot. Alec Martinez is going to take it away. Alec up 8 positions is now Hutton side by side with Mayato. And other drivers closing in. That's Bailey Turner and Zach Halpern. We get to the inside here of the 88. Nearly some contact as the 24 cut down the racetrack, and he is drifting up the track right now. Hutton going to be able to hold him off here out of turn 4. And look at Mayato making a 3 wide move to the inside of Alec Martinez, and Elliott Butler down into turn 1, 3 wide again. How many times have we seen this tonight? And that high line has been victorious almost every single time, but Elliott Butler, not the best of runs. He'll still be alongside at least Mayato, but now he pulls out in front of those two. He'll hang on to the 3rd position. We have Amir the Racer cheering on the Chick-fil-A machine. That is Eric Hutton, who's still up here in the battle for the top 5. He gets to the back of Alec Martinez. They're going to be a new winner here tonight like we saw last week. Safe Ferris, he has pulled a massive gap over Mark Emerson, 2.7 seconds. And the driver of that 44 car on rails right now as he has pulled lap after lap 2 or 3 tenths of a second farther away. And if everything stays green, he is going to emerge the winner, assuming he's got enough fuel to make it. And Mayato not able to complete the pass on Alec Martinez. So Alec Martinez up to 4th spot. Alex had a good race tonight, if not a little bit quiet overall. And Elliott Butler, very surprised. You know, he's up 5 spots, but one of his best races by far this season. And he is one of the drivers inside the top 20 in points, but has not had a lot of time up towards the front of the field. And right now up here on the podium doing a fantastic job, and even maybe tracking down the 22 of Mark Emerson for 2nd. Gap to Safe Ferris, 3 seconds. And growing lap after lap. And if this 6 car gets to the outside of the 22 or gets alongside, that margin will just continue to grow. That time by another 10th and a half for Safe. And nobody closer than that. Second fastest car, Keith Mayato, as he works to the inside now of Alec Martinez. Not able to get there. Down the back straightaway they go. Nose to tail. And we've got side by side back here Eddie Trejo, Yusuf Ghali, Greg Wellen also in the mix. This is for spots in the top 10. Update on the 48. He is still sitting in the 67's pit box. I think he may not be aware that they probably won't be pitting again, although if we get a yellow flag of any sort, very possible they'll have to come back down, and actually they will probably come back down. Side-by-side now for second, and this is only going to help save Ferris, who's now nearly 4 seconds out in front and continuing to pull away lap after lap, 1 or 2 tenths of a second, just driving away. And oh, nearly contact there as Elliott Butler works to the inside of Emerson, not able to complete the pass. Here comes Alec Martinez with a huge run out of turn 2, and Keith Mayato right there behind him. Where did they go? The 6 picks the middle groove, 18 a little bit higher, and Mayato right there in the tire tracks of the 6 machine. Don't count out Eric Hutton from getting up here on the podium either. He's been very quick. And now side-by-side Mayato and Martinez. 18, that high groove has been so good for him here over the last little bit. And able to defend from the 36 and also challenge the cars in front. And right now, still holding off Mayato for this 4th position. Keith down low, trying to keep the car pinned down. He'll be able to stay off of Martinez, trying to do a little bit of a reverse crossover and go to the outside, but I think it really just cost him a lot. As here comes Eric Hutton to the inside. Keith maybe just trying to defend through this set of corners. 88 drifting up the track. They'll be all good down the back straightaway. Mayato able to clear and hang on to 5th. As now Safe Ferris has pulled away 4.5 seconds over Mark Emerson, who continues to hold off the rest of the drivers for that 2nd position. And this is definitely a great battle here. The 6 car all over the back. Is he going to give the bumper to Mark Emerson? Use that chrome horn. Not really what you see at these 1.5 miles, but Chicago's a little bit different. You pull a lot of slide jobs here. You can really run this place a little bit differently than you would many other 1.5 mile tracks. And this time out of turn number 4, the 6 drifting up the track, not able to clear him, but he is going to have the advantage at the line. I think it's going to be a dead heat. And here comes Alec Martinez, really challenging hard. Ooh, and nearly contact as the 22 trying to pinch down. Oh, wow, that is definitely a close call. Elliott Butler drifts up the track. He's going to get a little tag from the 18 of Alec Martinez. Here comes Keith Mayato, still trying to find a way around. It's less than 10 to go, and Safe Ferris 5 seconds in front and growing. Safe just hoping these guys keep it clean and green. And Elliott Butler now losing some ground in that low line. He's going to try and maintain, but I think it's going to be to no avail. The 18 able to drift up past, and there's some contact. Mayato trying to hang on to it. They're going to spin and go around behind. Still hanging on to it a bit. No caution just yet as Mayato slow up in front of the field. And dropping speed, but still able to keep it pointed in the right direction. That really cost other drivers there. That was the 6 drifting up. And that tagged Bailey Turner and Eric Hutton. And nobody ever went around. What an incredible job as everyone avoids that. And Safe Ferris, so thankful for that, I am sure. 5.3 seconds in hand. As long as he can keep that engine under power and nobody else makes contact or causes a yellow flag, it's going to be another new winner here in the Virtual Racing League. We weren't sure we'd see many more of those with the strength of a few of these drivers this season, but Safe Ferris out of nowhere this season, seemingly, has gone from about a mid-pack car. The last couple of weeks he's been up there in the top 5 and challenging for podium finishes. Ended up 4th last week. And it'll be 6 to go this time with 5.5 seconds. He can give up a second a lap nearly. And Mark Emerson's got his hands full with the 18 of Alec Martinez as well. So the gap could just continue to grow. Yusuf Ghali, who's able to avoid all that, he's up to 4th. What a good recovery for Yusuf, who is at 1 point outside the top 15, and a much needed performance here if he can keep it up here in the top 5. Connor Horn able to recover after that drive through the grass into the 8th position. And 5 laps remaining here at Chicagoland. Does everybody have enough to make it on fuel? Dave Fair is leading the way. He can pretty much let off a little bit each lap if he wants to be able to make it. I think they're probably good to go on gas based on the way that everyone's running. And the good run for Eric Hutton came to an end there with that incident, as well as the run for the 24 of Bailey Turner. Both of those drivers up in the top 10. A lot of this race actually leading laps as well. And they're going to finish back outside the top 10, closer to the 15th position. And Keith Maotto as well, who had driven through the field. Heavy damage on that number 36 in 17th position. While his teammate out in front, showing the way. 3 laps remaining, 6 seconds in hand. The battle for second starting to heat up. Here comes Alec Martinez using the high lane. See if he can close in even more, about 3 car lengths the difference. And last lap, Alec was actually a bit slower. Trying to find something to get up there to Mark Emerson. But nobody's got anything for Safe Ferris. It'll be 1 to go next time. He's just got a couple more corners as we've got side-by-side battling back here for 5th and 6th. Alpern coming up the racetrack right across the nose of Elliott Butler. And Elliott going to try and cross him over. It's been a great race for Elliott. He wants to maximize this finish. Right now, 5th and 6th on screen. As he's going to drift up. A little contact there with the 7. And he has done that a couple times, but it doesn't matter for Safe Ferris. It's the white flag. He's on his way to his first career win in the Virtual Racing League. We're used to seeing Safe over on Thursday nights, and we haven't seen him win over there yet. But here in the Virtual Racing League, he found something, and he is driven away from the field tonight at Chicagoland Raceway. Or Chicagoland Speedway, rather. Safe Ferris is going to win the Chicago in race 10. For his first career victory in the Virtual Racing League. Battle for second, dead heat at the line. Mark Emerson by 1/10 of a second over Alec Martinez. Yusuf Ghali 4th, Elliott Butler 5th. And what a drive there for the 44 of Safe Ferris. Big win as he has climbed through the standings here the last few weeks. Up inside the top 10, and now a race winner in the Virtual Racing League. Leads the last 28 laps and pulled a margin of 6.4 seconds. And the checkered flag flew. What a drive. And what an incredible race tonight. All kinds of drama, great side-by-side action. And only a couple of cautions here tonight, including the stage caution as the 44 are going to burn it down here on the front stretch for Team V-Speed. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break with interviews for the top 3 drivers.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Back at the racetrack now. Gonna be pulling up our race winner for the first time this season. First time here in the Virtual Racing League. Safe Fair is Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Adam.
Well, Safe, I don't really know what to say, man. You blew him away there on the last run. 6.4 seconds you drove away. Nobody could touch you there for the last 30 laps. And, man, the patience showing off. You've been good the last couple weeks. What a drive tonight. How do you feel?
Honestly, still in shock. I can't believe I actually pulled off a win. It's been a long time coming here, and I'm so grateful that we were able to bring it into victory lane, especially on a tough track as Chicagoland. I have no idea how I made that run to the outside of the guys who were battling up front, the top three. And man, once we passed Marcus Emerson, that car just launched. I couldn't believe how clean air plays a huge factor with this package on getting the leader to pull off and pull away that fast. However, I think Marcus got a damage from contact with Connor. I'm not sure. Maybe that's what was slowing them down. But man, we got a win finally.
Yeah, and what an impressive victory, as it really did look like, you know, this was going to be between Connor Horn and Jeff Wright, and both of those drivers out of contention. It got crazy there in the last 35 laps, and you capitalized for sure. You know, how intense was it out there racing, you know, with this package side by side, you know, all race long here tonight?
So definitely with this package, dirty air plays a huge factor into how you can exit the corners. Depending on where you are on the track and how many vehicles are ahead of you and such, it dictates how much you lift and try to get a good corner and to get a launch so that you can have an edge on your competitors. It kept things really interesting and really tight. Hats off to the whole field. This was one of the toughest tracks, and we all did a phenomenal job, I would say, racing cleanly side by side, except for certain instances there. It was super fun. We had a penalty mid-race there where we drove through many pit stalls, so we restarted at the very back, and somehow we made it back front, came into the last pits. We topped off on the last lap. That dictated as well how much fuel we had and such. So we had about a lap extra fuel. I think Emerson was conserving a little bit as well, but man, what a race. Like, fantastic job, everyone. If you can hear me, you guys drove an amazing race.
Yeah, definitely a very fun one, very dramatic, all kinds of twists and turns, and you emerge here victorious for the first time in the Virtual Racing League. And we got a nice break off, so you can go, or a week off, so you can really, you know, kind of bask in that. And then we come back here in a couple of weeks at Circuit of the Americas. What are your thoughts on going out there?
I love that track, Circuit of the Americas, especially with Formula One. So I do some leagues as well with Formula One over there, and it's a fun track. It's going to be interesting for a lot of people trying to memorize that track. So hopefully everybody can get it figured out eventually. So I'm really excited. I want to see how the Cup cars actually perform over there, and hopefully we have another good race and a good result.
Yes, sir. Definitely picking up the pace here in the Virtual Racing League. A couple top fives or top tens in a row, and then a victory to really cap off that ascendance towards the top of the league here. And great race tonight. You lead 28 laps after starting up in the top 5. Anybody you want to give a shout out to for tonight's victory?
Yeah, all the guys in the virtual racing league. Again, thank you guys for having me come on board and racing with you. We do race hard each other, and sometimes we grind on each other's gears. However, there is still tons of respect, and thank you guys for having me again. Special shout out to Reggie and Jeremiah and Marcus for this awesome league. And definitely V-Speed Broadcasting. Thank you guys for always delivering a great broadcast, and can't wait for the next week or 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, I think you're going to love going back and watching this one. A lot of fun, a lot of craziness that you may not have even seen from the in-car. But congrats on the win again, Safe, and we'll catch up with you real soon.
Sounds great, Adam. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. All right, and that was race winner Safe Ferris. I know how excited he is to go celebrate with the team. And let's go to second place finisher Mark Emerson, who had a great race as well, just did not come away with the win. Oh, and we just lost him.
Nope, I'm here.
Oh, hey Mark, you got me, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, man, just a little bit short here in tonight's race, but you put on a show for us up there in the race lead. You took the lead away from Connor with the slide job, and that, started some craziness and opened the doors for others, and Safe kind of ran away with it. But you gained 13 spots through the race, and you led a few laps and come home second. How do you feel about your performance here tonight and the race overall?
Well, at the start of the race, I was pretty disappointed because I ended up dropping back to 20th because I got a little loose on the restart and just fell back. And when we were back in that much traffic, the car just didn't feel like it was going anywhere. So I kind of thought that I was just really slow, which I mean, I kind of was. I wasn't exactly the fastest on the track, but. And then, with the Connor thing. Oh, first, right before that, whenever Connor and Jeff got together, I managed to teleport through Jeff, luckily. So iRacing saved me right there. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And, I went back and looked at it, and I shouldn't have finished that race at all. I should have been very dead.
Yeah, we saw that you phased through, and that was definitely a lucky break. It could have definitely been the end of the race for you. But second place finish here is going to be really important. You're outside the top 12 in the points at the moment. How much of a confidence booster is this to kind of get things turned around?
I always knew that whenever it came to 1.5 miles or higher, I would, be much better off than any other track. Like Darlington, I was just not having it there. I'm just more comfortable on the bigger tracks, and then Richmond's my only favorite short track that I like to race at. So I knew coming in here that I was going to be fine, and then we have an off week next week, and then we go to Coda, which will be interesting.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on going out there? You think you can have another solid performance?
I don't know. I have not racing a cup car around there. I've done it before, like just practicing, and it was a lot. It was very mentally draining, and there's going to be a lot of mistakes from a lot of people. So I think that race is just going to be whoever can keep it on the track the longest is going to win that race.
Yeah, and that's often what road course races are, just minimizing the mistakes and trying to keep that car with good track position. But that's essentially what you did here late in the going. You start 15th, you climb through the field, you were up there in the lead. Within 30 laps to go, you do lead 5 and finish second. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Everybody on my team that was there, Jordan and Elliot for being in a strobe light out there, really giving us some good quality content while we were racing around them. And one more thing is that right whenever I crossed the start-finish line, I ran out of fuel, which I was a little surprised, but yeah, that happened.
Yeah, perfect amount then, just made it. And a great finish from you here tonight, Mark. We'll see how you do in a couple weeks at Coda. All right, that is Mark Emerson, second place finisher. Let's go to third place now, Alec Martinez. Pull him up in the booth here. Alec Martinez, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Well, Alec, kind of a mixed bag race for you here tonight. You were kind of, mid-pack for a lot of it. You were in the top 5 for a bit of it, and then ultimately you capitalized on some mistakes of others. You end up on the podium, and just kind of a quiet race. But how did it feel from your perspective?
Early in the race, started about mid-pack and just trying to slow climb up the field, kind of like Michigan was. With at least we can move around a little bit more, but just clean air, dirty air, just whew, man, it makes a difference. I don't know. I don't know, man. Then I had to go back get damage fixed, and later in the race, everything fell my way, I guess, with the caution and all the wrecks, I guess. Heck, I made at least 7-8 positions that I didn't even get to see all day just because they were wrecking each other up there. So, you know, I'm sure, you know, it was a quiet day, I feel like. I don't know if I was mentioned a lot in the broadcast, but I know I was kind of mired back in traffic a lot and just slow, steady climb up the field as much as I could. And, man, I don't really know how I got there. And I know Mark was running out of fuel. I kind of wish he would have ran out of fuel off of 4. I guess he ran out at the line, but no.
Yeah, definitely cutting it close there in terms of fuel. We know Safe pitted a lap after you guys, and he was able to stretch it a bit farther if it was going to be required. But yeah, you were slicing and dicing there in the last little bit, and you know, we saw you racing it up with Keith Mayato for a lot of this race. Some good battles all throughout. You know, another strong finish for you as well. We go to COTA in a couple weeks. What are your thoughts on that track?
To be honest with you, I don't even have it purchased. So, you know, I don't know how it's gonna go. I've never raced there, never touched it. I don't even own it, so I have to buy that. So we'll see how that goes. From what I heard, it's fun in the Cup car, and we'll see what happens. I really don't know.
Yeah, it should be an interesting challenge, I think, for a lot of drivers. I personally have never raced there. I've seen some of the F1 racing there, but yeah, I've never raced there either. So it'll be a lot of fun to watch you guys figure it out, maybe on the fly. But you know, for tonight's race, you start 11th, you finish up here on the podium, continue to get those solid runs week in and week out, and maybe gain a little bit here in the standings headed out of tonight's race. Anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. My teammates Mark Emerson, Jordan Ashland, Angela Ronis, and Ben Baff for coming on a little bit late in the year. Reggie, Jeremiah, Mark Elliott for you know, getting this league, and obviously you guys running the broadcast. It's good to have a league where we can race clean, get green flag runs, and then obviously have a great broadcast to go with it.
Yeah,
and to all the viewers, you guys make it possible, and we hope you enjoyed the race today. We were sliding around a lot, so tried to put on the best show we could for you guys today.
Definitely was a very exciting, interesting, dramatic race. Basically all the adjectives you could think of, and you were a big part of it out there, Alex. So congrats on the 3rd place finish, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at COTA.
All right, thank you, man. See ya.
All right. That is Alec Martinez, 3rd place finisher here tonight, and maybe a bit of a surprise. We're used to seeing Alec run up front all race long, and this time he just kind of came on there at the very end and had saved his stuff and gets a good solid finish out of it. Let's take a look at the rest of the results for tonight's race. Just 3 cautions in 130 laps. One of those for the stage break, the other 2 for accidents. 13 total lead changes, so it was pretty competitive at the front. Dave Ferris emerges with the win, 6.4 seconds ahead of Mark Emerson, who just edges out Alec Martinez. It was only 69 thousandths of a second, so close right there. Yusuf Ghali finishes in the 4th position, a much needed finish. 5th position, Elliott Butler. 6th, Zach Halpern. 7th, Eddie Trejo. 8th was Connor Horn, able to recover nicely. 9th was Jordan Ashland. Rounding out the top 10 was Greg Wellen. Good finishes for those drivers. Caleb Hattery finishes in the 11th position. Jeremiah Vincent, extremely quiet night for Jeremiah. He finishes in 12th. 13th was Angelo Ronis, finishes 13th. Bailey Turner, who was strong, finishes 14th. William Troy finishes 15th. Eric Hutton 16th. Keith Mayato 17th. Adam Cabot finishes in 18th. Dylan Parker 19th. Jeff Wright finishes in the 20th position after winning stage number 1. AJ Stravato finishes 21st after a blown engine. Garrett Kite finishes 22nd. Ben Bafford 23rd. And Dane Cruz finishing in 24th. Actually did not take the green flag, but 24th in the field tonight. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the broadcast this evening. If you enjoyed it, please consider following us right here on Twitch, as well as all these different social media outlets. Great race by these drivers here, and looking forward to a lot more. Once again, a reminder, we'll be on YouTube and Facebook for the next broadcast in 2 weeks. If you want to stay up to speed with what we are doing throughout the week, follow us on Facebook and Twitter to see race announcements before we go live. You can also visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you take your iRacing experience to the next level. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Below the Double Yellow Cup series right here on Twitch, so you won't want to miss that one. That'll be a good race, and looking forward to that one. So thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see who we can jump in with to wrap up for tonight. It looks like David Schildhaus is streaming. We'll jump in with him. Have a great night, everyone.